Are listening to Mike Guido and Josh Tariff. Buckle up! Buckle up!
All righty, here we are. Good evening, world.
Mike and Josh.
Having it?
Mike and Josh.
Let's do it.
Mike and
Jack,
Josh.
Mike, and Josh.
Mike and
Great to have
Josh.
you here.
Spit the
Another Thursday.
cut the crap. Get the latest. Get the latest. Let's run it back. Run it back.
Welcome in here to Mike and Josh, exclusively on the Grid Network. I'm Mike Guido. That's Josh Tariff. It is great to have you here on another Thursday evening. Josh, we, listen, I this is what I get when I fix my hair pre-show.
This is fixing it?
30 minutes before. Well, listen, can you attest to, or can you not attest to this being an improvement to what it was a minute ago?
Moments ago, yes. I really wish we were live about 5 minutes ago, because I literally could not see his headset.
Yeah,
on his ears, because of his hair was just in all sorts of directions. There's got to be a take that you do at some point that you feel so confident in that you risk shaving your head if it doesn't pan out.
So
because that'd just be good quality programming.
So it is interesting because for those of you who know me personally, you know that right now I am going through my student teaching phase of becoming an elementary school teacher, right?
Yes.
So obviously, as somebody who is a potential elementary school teacher, sometimes you have to make, you have to incentivize your students sometimes when, there's a big test coming up and everybody wants to slack off and they don't care about it. So you have to incentivize them. And maybe one time you'll incentivize them by potentially shaving your head. So it's funny that you bring that up. That is something that I have already thought about.
Oh, I was going to say, did you actually do this already?
I have thought about it. I have not done anything with it yet, but that is not off the table. By the way, my student teacher is bald also. So now it would just be two adult men with no hair.
We need, whether it's in our live chat or comments on the page or to tweet either of us, we need ideas, some type of sports and success related ideas for Mike's class. Now, can you share what grade that you are?
Fifth grade.
Fifth grade.
Yes.
What ideas can we do that are somewhat educator related and sports related, or like something to get X amount of likes or views or something like that?
Yeah. So
Mike's fifth grade class to then cause him to have to shave his head.
And right, keep it realistic, right? Like no tattoos on my ass, like nothing like that.
No. The payoff would be for you to shave your head.
Oh, okay. That's automatically the payoff. Okay,
that's the payoff. We just got to figure out what the challenge is as far as getting someone with views or likes or something sports related. Like we got to get a certain athlete to give a shout out to your class or something of that nature.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so
I gotcha.
Give us ideas during the live chat or comments or on Twitter, because we need this class. We need Mike's class to be happy, and we need Josh to also be happy.
Yeah.
At the expense of Mike shaving his head. My hair will not be touched for this. I just want to.
No. I mean, how could you cut that beautiful mane that is perched on the top of your dome?
I love how you call mine a mane when yours.
What is this? You can't say this is a mane.
I mean,
this is not. Well, this is my hair looks like one of those old brooms where all of the hairs are just like splitting to different ends. Like that's what my hair is. I look like an old mop.
By the way, I want to know whether or not our listeners realize that it's a very slow sports week yet. Since we're spending the first 5 minutes talking about your hair.
It very much is. But in the wake of all that, we still have plenty to talk about today.
Yes, we do.
So Josh and I, after the All-Star break, right? So this past weekend was All-Star weekend, the NBA. coming up in hour 2, we'll be doing a little bit of buy or sell for the East and for the West, some teams that we believe in, some teams that we think are kind of pretenders as far as legitimate NBA title aspirations. We'll touch on that a little bit later today. Tyreek Hill being let go from the Miami Dolphins. We'll see where he could fit next. And what does that mean for Miami? Where do they go from here? We'll touch on that a little bit later in this hour. But first, listen, when it comes to the All-Star break and the All-Star weekend festivities, it has been mentioned so many times on this show, Josh, that we have a grid group chat, right?
Yes.
Where all of us are in the same. So it's you, it's me, it's Barry Grant Jr. from All Even, it's Bryson Carver from Carving It Up, like it's Tim Barnard from the Boston Sports Summit, like all of those guys. We all share one big group chat, and we bounce ideas and we argue with each other and we make fun of each other and all that. It's all great.
It's mostly the make fun of each other.
Right. So I got into it a little bit with Bryson this weekend, and I love him. It's, there's no ill will or anything of that nature, but we got into a little bit of an argument about the All-Star game and how, or not even just the All-Star game, but All-Star weekend, and like how necessary it is in the sport now, right? Because you've got people on our network, and not just on our network, but anywhere else too, that are throwing out the idea of like, why do you even have All-Star weekend anymore, right? The dunk contest has become such a joke. The players don't care at all about the All-Star game itself, right? They've tried so many different formats and nothing's worked. And this was before, by the way, the All-Star game this weekend, which actually turned out to be, I think, fairly positive. I think there were a lot of times where players were actually trying, which is a good thing.
Yes.
But it's just like, well, it doesn't do anything for the players anymore. Listen, here's the thing. And the reason I don't like the All-Star game is because I think the All-Star game could become, and I shouldn't say, I keep saying the All-Star game, I keep meaning All-Star weekend as a whole. I think it could be amazing. Like the All-Star weekend festivities, the game, the dunk contest, 3-point, whatever they do, it doesn't matter. It all could be so exciting. It could all be so awesome. But because the NBA players don't care about it, the viewers don't care about it. And I also think that if the NBA players don't care about what is presumably one of the true, like, I guess, like circle the calendar kind of things in the NBA year, one of the benchmarks of the NBA year, and you just simply don't care about it, you can't bitch and moan that you want more money. Like, you just can't do that. Like, I just, if you're not going to make the NBA as good of a product as you can do, as you can make it, then you can't also say, well, we want the game to grow, we want all of it. Like, it doesn't make sense. You don't get one without the other. You can't just try at some things and not try at the other when you're all trying to put together a great NBA product. So I've had an issue with this, with the All-Star weekend for a long time, not because I don't think it's necessary anymore. And you and I can both agree, Josh. I texted you this weekend saying like this might have been the worst dunk contest of all time. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Under every circuit. I mean, Keyshawn Johnson won the damn thing. And I think in most years when the dunk contest was going on, the guy wouldn't have been invited back. It was so terrible. Like, it just wasn't the right.
And the star power of this year's slam dunk contest is at the point where you said Keyshawn Johnson won the slam dunk contest. Most people's response would be like, I thought he played in the NFL.
He's a retired football player. Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's Keyshawn Johnson.
Right.
Yes. But right, 100%. But Josh, that's exactly it, though. Right.
Yeah.
Like Jackson Hayes. When I was making the thumbnail for this episode, Josh, I put Jackson Hayes as one of the pictures in our thumbnail doing literally the plainest dunk you can do. Like, not even the backups care about this.
But we need to celebrate to celebrate the first and only time that Jackson Hayes would be the thumbnail for any Mike and Josh
Thing
show.
ever. Right. 100%.
Because that will be the last time that he'll ever be a thumbnail for it.
Right. Well, congratulations, Jackson.
Yeah. I want to point out, before we really break this down, though, I wanted to surprise you with something that I've received as a gift that had to do with All-Star Weekend.
Ooh.
This year, All-Star Weekend was in Los Angeles at the Intuit Dome.
Yeah.
I was not there. I actually, and those of you that also know me, know that I also work in the world of professional wrestling as manager. I happen to have a show the same day as the All-Star game. So I was unable to attend. However, a humble brag that I have is I seem to know people in all different works, in all different jobs, in all different occupations. I had a connection with someone who was part of the team that set up and tore down all the All-Star festivities at Intuit Dome.
Oh.
And he was thinking about me because he knows I am a basketball nut. And he also knows I am, of course, an Orlando Magic nut.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, to my surprise, this person provided me with two different things. One, during the dunk contest, and I'm sure they also had this maybe for the three-point shootout, things like that. They had signs for production on where different athletes would be. And I was given this Jace Richardson slam dunk sign that was provided for production. Like that's
cool.
It's pretty cool. You know, now granted, we don't know how much of this dunk contest Jace Richardson remembers since he fell on his damn head.
Ugly fall
during it. But my Orlando Magic rookie participating in the worst dunk contest of all time, I got this. But what I honestly think is even cooler, I received some of the cue cards that they were holding during the award presentations. I will read these to you. This is Reggie Miller's.
Yeah.
As it says, talking about now it's time to present the Kobe Bryant Trophy, the Kia NBA All-Star Game MVP Award. We presented by Kia America's Vice President of Marketing, Russell Wager. Once again, Adam Silver. And then we have, as I almost drop it, Adam Silver's card, which, as you see, it was like left there, like something like rolled over it or something that while they were moving stuff around. Adam Silver's script to read: in a game full of amazing performances, there is one star of stars that shine most brightly and who would have made Kobe proud. The Kobe Bryant Trophy goes to the 2026 Kia NBA All-Star Game MVP, and then it's blank. So just to prove the All-Star Game was not scripted, we didn't know who it was when this was written.
That's proof. If you were a conspiracy theorist and felt that way,
right,
that's proof enough. So
this is the proof that he did not know ahead of time when they printed these cards that Anthony Edwards was the All-Star Game MVP. But I think that's just kind of badass that all of a sudden I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with these, because like these and like this sign, like am I gonna frame this together? Because it's like framing this thing is a little awkward, but then these cards got to be kept somewhere because it's just cool to have.
That's cool memorabilia right there. That is really cool stuff, Josh. That's really crazy.
I know.
How many people in America can say that they have those two things? It might just be you.
It might just be me. I mean, as far as a combination of Adam Silver and Reggie Miller's All-Star MVP cue cards and a Jace Richardson slam dunk contest sign from the same weekend of events.
Right.
I mean, this is just why I'm amazing.
You are.
Even though I did not get these, were gifted to me. So
it pays to have friends in really solid places.
Yeah.
That is quite the stuff, Josh. Anyway, I will say so. You must have, now that you're so connected to this
yeah.
All-Star.
I mean, this. I'm practically like Adam Silver's right-hand man now that I have this cue card.
You are. You are like, you remember when George Lopez stole the president's speech? You ever see that? You're like George Lopez.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
But hey, listen, I think now that you are so connected to this All-Star game,
Very.
or this All-Star weekend, you must have a lot of, positives to say about such event. Enlighten us, Josh. Is there anything to take away from this?
Oh, positives. About that.
You got some cool cue cards.
The positive is what I just showed you. That is the most positive thing about this weekend. I mean, let's talk. The biggest news story of All-Star Weekend was seeing how Shams Charania would play in the celebrity game.
Yeah.
That just shows how little people honestly just cared about the entire weekend. So we focus on Shams trying to play in a celebrity game, and he did not do well. The three-point contest, which has forever been the only good thing about All-Star Weekend, was won by a guy who has been injured and will not be playing all season.
Yeah. That was actually a pretty cool story.
It's a cool story, but in the grand scheme of things,
yes,
it's just like, oh, well, if these guys have been working this season and earned this spot to be in the contest, and then here
Damian
comes
Lillard.
I mean, Hall of Fame Damian Lillard, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to slouch him, but he's been on the sidelines and hasn't played at all, and he just shows up and wipes the floor with everybody.
Yeah.
The dunk contest, which we've already kind of alluded to, was an absolute – so a winner that we haven't heard of, Jackson Hayes doing a dunk that 99% of the NBA players will do during a regular game.
Yeah, that was so embarrassing.
And Jace Richardson hurting himself during the dunk contest. And then to top it off, with the game itself, which, with all things considered, a better concept than last year, but you still had people playing hard at first, and then it's just like, oh, whatever. It is still just the All-Star game. We should only be doing so much. So it comes down to, and we have this problem in football. We've touched on the Pro Bowl during this show. It's fun. It's interesting that Major League Baseball is probably the closest of the main sports as having an overall entertaining weekend.
Yeah.
So people are trying to throw ideas. Get rid of the dunk contest. I'm not saying get rid of the dunk contest. Let's add a one-on-one tournament. Well, how many people are really going to play hard in that? Because that's even a higher risk of injury than the full-on game itself.
Yeah,
like what ways can we do
to
rectify to make this watchable?
No, here's the thing. I think what you just brought up is the only real alternative that I could think of where players might actually care. Because let's say you had a 1v1 tournament. Obviously, you're talking about all the conversations we have about who the greatest players of all time are, right? All of this stuff. If you had a real 1v1 tournament, you can't tell me that NBA players don't care about their own legacy. They absolutely, probably more than any other athlete in professional sports, are basketball players, because the game is so singular. The game focuses so much on isolation, man versus man, right? And listen, any real basketball guy knows that the way the game is played, it's a very team-oriented sport. But at the same time, all of basketball culture talks about, well, when there's 2 minutes left in the game, who do you want to have the ball in their hands, right? It's all these singular accolades that pile up for NBA players. So that, I think, is a good point where, like a 1v1-ish tournament that you could have for NBA players, that might bring a little bit of electricity to the weekend. Here's the other thing. And this was a big part of it. I just don't like how this narrative of, well, the All-Star game used to be valuable to players and now it's not. I just don't know that I buy that.
It was never valuable to players, but players used to play the game.
Right. Well, right. And listen, nobody is asking for you to put in the same effort in the All-Star game that you would in Finals Game 7. Nobody's asking for that. But give us something, right? Like, if it was, like, there were moments in the All-Star game where, like, you had a 1v1 isolation opportunity where LeBron was guarding Kobe, and they tried. LeBron tried to stop Kobe, and Kobe really tried to score. Those were entertaining, right? Those elements of the game were entertaining. The bigger thing to me is even less than the game, right? Because I think the All-Star game, that's one thing. But I also think, by the way, I am split screening the Cavs versus Brooklyn right now. This Cavs team looks cohesive. They look good right now against Brooklyn at home, by the way. Not to get too sidetracked.
Playing Brooklyn, Cleveland is probably playing as hard as the All-Stars played.
Well, listen, I'll tell you this. This is also, and this is the last thing I'll say on Cleveland right now, because part of the reason why I wanted to split screen this game while our show is on the air is because this is also the first game with James Harden playing with Evan Mobley. So I do want to see that also because he's been injured. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to watch this game. But anyway, the bigger thing about All-Star Weekend, the dunk contest used to be the highlight of the event.
Yes.
It used to be the highlight. And the star players didn't used to do it all the time. It's not like, every year's dunk contest would be Kobe and LeBron and like that's not the way it was. Like most of the time it's these really athletic rotational players and maybe you get like one star or one legit starter or something like that. Now it's gotten so, watered down to where like Jackson Hayes was the most notable player in the dunk contest this year. Like that's sad.
Yeah, we went over it last week how Jackson Hayes was like maybe more than twice in average minutes per game than anyone else.
And he put together the worst performance at everybody. Like really, really badly. And listen, I like Carter Bryant as a player. Like I think he's going to be a pretty good.
I like Jace Richardson as a player.
I like Jace Richardson as a young player. Right? But I mean, this is getting ridiculous now. It really is.
And along with that,
the amount of effort that goes into it with these guys. There were no props. There was nothing. There was like nothing to this.
And let me go one thing further with that. Not only was there nothing for that, and you're saying there was no effort. How about no effort by the judges on their scores?
Yeah, that was
because that horrific Jackson Hayes dunk got something like an average of like a 43 or a 44 out of 50.
I think a 40 isn't a 40 the lowest you can get. Isn't it between 40 and 50, or can you score below that?
Well, why would that? If that's the case, then why not just have it between 1 and 10?
Well, there you go.
That makes no sense.
Another stupid thing. It just doesn't seem well thought out, Josh. It just doesn't. And again, you're looking at an event that used to carry All-Star Weekend.
Yes.
Now it's the laughing stock of it. And I don't know if there's a real way to fix it because players just simply don't care about it. And unless they do, then it's going to die.
Here's a random, like this thought literally just popped into my head as we were saying this. As far as trying to make things competitive. Now, this concept would then go back to East versus West with the game itself. And I'm still on board with the thought of, okay, well, the winner of the All-Star game between East and West, that conference would then get home court for the NBA Finals, regardless of record. So again, you have it being worth something. Let's take it one step further and have it be the winner of All-Star Weekend. And so what I mean by that is based on three-point shootout, dunk contest, skills competition, and the game, you're having, say, dunk contest. If we're having 4 people, fine. 2 from the Eastern Conference, 2 from the Western Conference. The individual who wins that, obviously they win the contest, and then that conference gets a point.
Right.
The All-Star game itself is worth 2 points. So it's technically best of 5 points over the course of those 4 events.
Yeah.
And the winning conference gets home court advantage. So now you're at least also doing something for Saturday as well. We already got the stars for the 3-point shootout. So now maybe if all of a sudden the dunk contest, it's worth something towards the winning conference for it. Now maybe, again, I'm not saying this means we have to have Giannis in the dunk contest.
Right.
But hey, now we might have to get a solid rotational dunker representing one of the teams in the East to go forward.
And please, can we go back to the days where, like, even if it wasn't as impressive as some people thought it was, like, and I was certainly one of those people, like, I at least appreciated it when Blake Griffin jumped over the hood of a Kia Optima. Like I didn't even think that was that impressive. I really didn't. Like, that was sort of normal, but the fact that the car was there.
E40 was impressive?
No, I really didn't.
Especially
like,
considering
look at how high he got. I'm like, I've kind of seen that before.
Yeah. We've seen it on taller people.
But I think that's also another problem the dunk contest has, and that's just an unfixable thing. Some of the dunks that you see during the dunk contest, they've all been done before. You know, like, it's not like, oh my God, like, I've never seen that. Like, I'm telling you, and we've had this conversation. The last time I really felt that way about a dunk contest was Aaron Gordon versus Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
That was, like, I would go ahead and say that's the greatest dunk contest of all time. Like,
many people do say that, yeah.
I would, and Aaron Gordon got robbed, by the way. Like, I say it all the time, he got robbed of that. But anyway,
I honestly think Aaron Gordon not winning, not just that one, but then the one a year or two later against Derrick Jones.
Yeah.
The fact that he lost that one, that's where a huge nail went into the covenant dunk contest, because he was still, again, not top tier player, but he is a very good player.
Yeah.
And if he did all the things that he did in that one and then didn't win, well, then other stars at least his level, like, well, why am I going to bother? If Aaron Gordon says after that, I'm never competing in a dunk contest again, because he said that after, well, then why would anyone at his level, which was at that point of his career just below all-star, why would anyone else bother?
Yeah.
And then it just kept getting lower and lower and lower. And then we had Mac McClung show up, outdunk everybody. And everyone's just like, well, now I don't want to be showing up against a G leaguer. So now he keeps getting lower and lower and lower.
Yeah. I mean, and that was the issue about it too, was that Mac McClung did take pride in the dunk contest.
Yes.
But that was because it was the only thing he had.
Right.
Like,
he made more money winning the dunk contest than he did in his multiple seasons through G League or being a two-way player.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm disappointed that it is the way that it is now. And hopefully one day we'll get a little revival of it. Maybe because, again, like, I kind of hold out hope sometimes that in another generation, like, there will be another generation that actually takes pride and cares about this stuff again. You know what I mean? Not that it, like, if it doesn't pay you, or if you don't get immediate return on it, right? There's no delayed gratification anymore, right? Like, if it doesn't do anything for you right now, right then and there, it's not worth doing. I hate that that's the mentality.
Winner of the dunk contest now doesn't. It's not $1 million. Now they have to be awarded with 1 million new TikTok followers.
Yeah, there you go. That might do it. That might do it. Who knows? But all right. When we come back, the NBA today came out with some new like anti-tanking proposals. These are not like foregone conclusions right now,
Right.
but these are ideas that they're spitting out. We'll go through some of them, and do any of these make sense? We'll touch on that next.
What up, Cowboys Nation? We are Cowboys Can Fan.
You know, like Canadian fan. And we're big Dallas Cowboy fans. We live stream every Dallas Cowboys game with our unapologetic, intoxicated play-by-play and color commentary, and we guarantee you won't find anything like this anywhere else.
We do that in the ring together?
We told you not. So Bland was here to stay, baby.
And if you like to have a couple cold ones,
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son. Crack 'em if you got 'em, son. Crack 'em if you got 'em.
And watch the Dallas Cowboys play football.
you need to join us 1 hour before the Cowboys kick off, throw your score prediction in our live chat, and if you're right, guess what? We'll send you a shirt, some Can Fan merch. Click the link, check us out, and subscribe if you like what we do.
Oh, and remember, BYOB.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Bring your own boosh.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Bryson Carver, and I'm the host of the Carving It Up podcast right here on the Grid Network, as well as my own personal YouTube channel, Carving It Up with Bryson Carver. On my show, talk about a number of the biggest topics in the world of sports, as well as culture and entertainment, and I include special segments such as Bryson's Best 10, The Ball View, and one of my favorites, Carving Up the Context. I also like to invite special guests on the show to get different insights and perspectives on topics, and most importantly, I love to hear from you, the audience, in the chat below. So check out Carving It Up 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Facebook, X, and on Instagram. Check the show out anywhere you get your podcasts as well as on the YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys.
Alex Rodriguez is coming out with a documentary, and it goes into detail. Like, he's never talked about the steroid part of it and all the pressure. You will do a lot more desperate things to try to stay relevant, and you can see that he was straining to be this person that he wasn't, instead of just being the person that he always should have been. Just, I'm Alex Rodriguez, because of imposter syndrome. He had to be somebody that he wasn't. Goes to the Yankees, gets another big fucking contract. I empathize with that, because when you're this great player and people are looking at you and they're looking through you, it makes you realize that maybe Alex doesn't matter. I have to be A-Rod.
Yo, this is Barry Grant Jr. I want to give a big shout out to Mike and Josh, and be on the lookout for more clips from All Even Podcast.
This is Patrick L. Brown, lead journalist here at the Grid Network, reminding you to make sure that you check out all of the latest articles over on the Grid's webpage under the blog section. There you will find the hottest takes in sports, mixed in with some mental health articles as well. Dare to be different? Enter the Grid, your new leaders in digital media, sports, and entertainment. As I always say, stay tuned.
All right. Well, thank you, Patrick. We are back here on the Grid Network. I'm Mike Guido. That's Josh Tariff. It's Mike and Josh here exclusively on the Grid. By the way, quick score update. The Cavs right now are leading the Nets 29-14 with, what do we got? Like 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Are you surprised?
No. Let's, we're good. We're good. I'm just saying. Jared Allen's got 10 points right now.
I like the we're good. I like that.
Yeah. James Harden right now, 4 assists already in this game.
Hey,
I'm telling you.
One thing he has always been good at, to his credit, is when he has serviceable big men, he loads up on the assist to them.
And now he's got 2.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. I think it's right now it's working out just fine here in Cleveland. Here in Cleveland, as if I'm there. Anyway, welcome back. So, according to Shams Charania, this is really the bigger news of today.
Yeah.
Here's the tweet that he put out. We have some anti-tanking news. He says multiple sources with knowledge of Thursday's GM meeting, as well as a late January competition committee meeting, told ESPN that the following concepts have been discussed to curb tanking. Okay. Now I'm going to read this to you. Okay. Now, Josh already knows, but I'm going to read this to you. And I want you to kind of, if you're in the comment section, tell me what you think about these. Okay. First round picks can be protected only top 4 or top 14 plus, which again is a lot of what happens already. So I feel like that's kind of useless.
I don't know about that.
No, you don't think so?
Most picks are typically these days are like top 8 or top 10. Or obviously there's the unique case with the Zubac trade, how it's protected 1 to 4 or like 10 up or something like that or whatever it was.
By the way, I hate first round protections. I hate it. I hate it. I think it's so dumb. But that's a story for a different day.
Yeah.
Okay. Lottery odds freeze at the trade deadline or a later date. No longer allowing a team to pick top 4 in consecutive years and or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes. We'll get into that one. Teams can't pick top 4 the year after making the conference finals. Okay. Lottery odds allocated based on 2-year records. So back-to-back years. Lottery extended to include all play-in teams and flatten the odds for all lottery teams. So again, this goes back to what we've already discussed, Josh. We discussed this last week. I really don't think tanking's that big of a problem. I know I'm on an island by myself on that one. I get it. But I just feel like that's how bad teams compete. That's how bad teams get better. Okay. Theoretically, okay, if every number 1 pick was successful, we'd be having a different discussion. Sure. Some guys bust. Yeah. Some guys, it isn't a surefire thing. Okay, success in the NBA. I just look. I'll let you roll here a little bit, and I will tell you why I hate it. And you go. So you go ahead. Tell me what your thoughts are.
Well, here are my thoughts. Now, I disagree with you in thinking, in regards with tanking is. You say tanking is not a big deal, and like you said, you're kind of on line with that. It is definitely a big deal. Is it to the point where we would have to drastically make all of these exceptions or some of these exceptions that are talking about? I don't believe so. And the reason is exactly what you were talking about. Hey, just because you end up with the first pick, second pick, third pick, whatever, doesn't mean they're going to pan out. And if they do pan out, well, more than likely, you're not going to be in that same position consecutive years. So can you just kind of read through each one by one? Because a couple of them I actually don't think are terrible. And then along with it, with your permission, I would like to also expand, because I've added a little more adjustments and detail to what my solution was last week. Because I've heard some other concepts of some things I thought were awful. And they're like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm trying to think of ways from to make it viable, while also for the business side of the NBA for them to continue profiting.
So what if I just said no
to
everything that you just said? Yeah. What if I just said no?
Then I just say, okay, what else are we going to do this whole time?
Okay. First round picks can be protected only top 4 or top 14 plus.
Like I mentioned with you just a moment, I like that one. I think that one is a viable one just because of all these, more specific. Like, for example, the Jazz this year, their pick is top 8 protected. Mm-hmm. So that means, okay, we got to make sure that we are the absolute worst possible team, which will lock us into one of those like top 4 picks. Because otherwise, then who knows where we'll fall.
Yeah.
So when you just have top 4 or just the entire lottery, then okay, that I think can alleviate a little bit of the purposeful tanking. There's one you mentioned as far as consecutive years. Forget that because injuries happen. People leave teams. There's so many different outliers with that one.
Yeah, lottery odds allocated
ridiculous.
based on 2-year records.
2-year, I mean, that's not the worst one in the world, but now we're really getting in the, and wait, when they say people are using too much analytics for stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to put decisions of one action based on multiple seasons. That's a little much.
Yeah. Lottery odds freeze at the trade deadline or a later date. Now, that one's obviously very broad, but
it's broad. I don't hate that one. Like the one we just talked about with the 2 years, I think is definitely worse than that one.
Yeah, I agree. The 2-year record thing is dumb.
Yeah. I mean, so that one, yeah, because obviously by the trade deadline, a number of these teams have already kind of figured, oh, well, we're going to be sellers. So then if they are sellers, why should we really constitute their wins if we're still going in this format? So I can understand an argument for that.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't love it. I think
I'm not saying I like it. I understand an argument for it.
No, I agree. I'm with you. I also think it, at least from my perspective, it disincentivizes teams to sell. It like I don't like. Yeah, you'll be getting like capital back, but what does that become? Like, what does that become worth now?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Especially if your lottery odds freeze at the deadline. Like, all right, well, then what's the point? I'll just keep them then. Like, to me, I think it's kind of dumb. No longer allowing a team to pick top 4 in consecutive years and or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes.
No.
That one's stupid.
Yeah, because I had the number 1 pick. Okay. Blake Griffin, number 1 pick, did not play his entire rookie year. Are we punished? Right. Like, so now, sorry, Clippers, you can't
pick any higher than 5.
Right.
That's
just because it's ridiculous.
And they do that in baseball now too. And I think in baseball it's just as stupid. I really do. Teams can't pick top 4 of the year after making the conference finals. How many times does that actually happen?
I mean, they're thinking because it's going to happen. It possibly could happen this year with the Pacers. But at the same time, you got to think, well, their best player got hurt at the end of the NBA Finals and was out this entire season. And their third best player left.
Right.
So why are they going to be punished because of injury and free agency?
Right. And that's
that one I think is atrocious.
I do think it's bad, but I also think like how the Pacers would be viewed by some. The Pacers should tank. Like you want to talk about like times where it's appropriate to tank. The Pacers just went to the finals, right?
Yep.
Tyrese Halliburton is a legit star player. You said Miles Turner left, right? Siakam is a legit star player. why, if you're not, listen, Tyrese Halliburton out for the year and they suck. Okay, suck on purpose. Use that. Like, take your bad season and make it worth something.
I mean,
you're losing it.
You're somehow punishing the franchise is already punished enough when your best player is out for the entire year with an injury.
Right.
Now this is saying the league is punishing that team because their player got hurt.
Right. Lottery extended to include all play-in teams.
I mean, so pretty much what that is in what that is then reiterating is the fact that the teams that end up being the 7 and 8 seed for the playoffs will also be in the lottery, which they never have been in the past. And I think that would be really, really bad.
Yeah, I agree. I just can't imagine, especially this also, and this will kind of tie into the last one too, is that the last one is flatten odds for all lottery teams.
Mm-hmm.
If you make all of the teams have the same percentage chance of getting the number one pick, you especially can't do this.
Of course not.
You especially can't do this. Now you're telling me that the potential 7th seed in the playoffs can get the number one overall pick?
And we've seen, 7 seeds be like 45, 46 win teams.
Mm-hmm.
And have also certainly pulled first round upsets before.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen the 8 seed has gotten to the finals before.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that 8 seed that, like, all right, maybe they had an underdog run and got to the conference finals or got to the finals, could then also end up with a number one pick?
Right.
Absolutely not.
I agree 1,000%. 1,000%. Listen, look, I've said it till I was blue in the face.
Mm-hmm.
I just think this is how teams get better. I really think that the NBA's problem with tanking is their own fault. It is because you have made it harder for bad teams to, in fact, get better.
Yeah.
It's hard for them to do it, right? The Pistons, think about this, Josh. The Detroit Pistons might be the best team in the NBA this year. They're certainly the best team in the Eastern Conference, right? Who did they need to become the best team in the Eastern Conference? They needed Cade freaking Cunningham, who they got with the number one pick.
And he realistically did not really start emerging until year 3.
Right. So, and listen, and that's to be expected from rookies, right? So it gave them an opportunity. They got the number one pick. They slowly started getting better, right?
It was like number 1 and then the number 5 and then like the number 11. And now look at them.
Right. It gave them the opportunity to get Asar Thompson. Like, it gave the team a chance to develop, to grow, to accumulate some more talent, to become a little bit more of an attractive destination for outside players, for already established NBA veterans. Like, that is the story of what I want to see for teams in the NBA. Do I think that teams put their best effort forward to succeed? No, I don't. But I think a part of that is because you're not giving them a fair shot. Like, if these teams can't draft for themselves, they have no chance.
You're absolutely
right. Chance.
Like, there is a common conversation in work culture at many corporations, like any type of corporation. What to say you're changing your culture, your core values, your philosophy at your job. It also, many studies have shown that it takes like 18 to 36 months for that company to start having whatever that new culture is be the norm, and then you start seeing the growth. So that's anywhere from 1.5 to 3 years. What many failed companies do is, here's a new culture, about 6 months go by, oh, this ain't working, let's throw it out and start over. What you just described about the Pistons was roughly a 36-month plan, and all of a sudden they were a playoff team. What happened with the Warriors back when they drafted, Steph and Clay and Draymond over the time they built it up? What's happened in Oklahoma City? Picks, building. Then you made that one trade that gave you more picks to build around SGA.
Right.
The Celtics with Tatum and Jaylen Brown, you building more and more. Then you had people come to it because it seemed like a good destination. So there are a number of teams that have been following that procedure and have seen success. The problem is your teams that have not had success in ages, your Sacramento Kings, your Washington Wizards, where all of a sudden, here's our pick. Let's go. Oh, he got hurt. Oh, he's not as good as we were hoping to be. Oh, we got to panic. We got to clean house and rebuild. You're changing the culture again and again and again and again. And that will not result in any type of long-term success.
Right. And I feel like it doesn't take an all that intelligent person to realize that.
I know, because I am not the least bit intelligent. And I realize this.
Josh, you know that's not what I meant, buddy.
No, it's what I meant.
No, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist. I feel like that everything that you just said is complete common sense.
Mm-hmm.
Complete common sense. Of course it takes time. I don't know. I think, like I said, I've thought it for a long time. I've publicly said it for a long time. The NBA's tanking problem is their own fault. They are trying to screw with it too much. And as much as I think the lottery is a fun watch, I think I don't think it is a working idea. It's not a good idea. If you want legitimate competitive ebb and flow in the league where teams are good for a while, then they're bad for a while, and they're good again, and they're bad again, the lottery doesn't help that. It doesn't help it. It simply doesn't. I don't know. I'm not a fan of what the NBA is doing with tanking. I think that honestly, I think if they implemented a lot of these strategies to, I guess, quote unquote, help the problem, honestly, I think it would make it 100 times worse. 100 times worse. You think the Utah Jazz are going to get better if they're forced to have the 9th pick instead of the 2nd? That's silly. That's crazy. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of this.
Well, if you're not a fan of that, maybe you'll be a fan of my convoluted solution to help appease everyone that thinks something has to be fixed.
Okay, go. Well, here's the thing, Josh, and this is before you get into that, just for a second, where do you and I disagree on this? Because
what we disagree is, I do think tanking is an issue when you're purposefully sitting out players. When you are making them, when you are taking them out, when they are fully healthy and the game is, it's one thing. Oh, we're going to set up. We're down 40 heading into the 4th quarter. We're not going to play our starters this game. We lost this game. We're up by 40. We can sit our players. This game's in the bag. If it's a 10-point game going to the 4th quarter and your guy didn't get hurt, your best player should be in that game to try to win.
Yeah.
That's the issue that I have with it. So
that's fair.
So last week, for those of you that tuned in, and if you didn't, shame on you, but welcome. Glad you're here with us now. My rough draft solution was, let's just simply have the lottery be in the reverse order, where then the team that just missed the playoffs had the best odds for the number 1 pick, because that shows that they're fighting and trying to get there and are just maybe that one player away.
Yeah.
And that then would cause the people that have been tanking to try. So that was the nutshell summary of it. Now, the conversations and comments that I received from that were things along the lines of, well, we still have, like the lottery. Of course, naturally, you still have the lottery. And again, the NBA is going to want the lottery for the marketing purposes, for the advertising purposes.
Of course. Yeah.
So then along with that, though, it's a matter of, well, then it's a matter of, what are they really still playing for with the odds? It's still luck of the draw. It is still luck of the draw. But then there's no excitement for those teams. And what can we do? Because we're already trying all these different things. We're already trying the NBA Cup early in the season, which the first year they did it, big success. And then it plummeted because people started figuring out what it was. And then this season, everyone's thinking, oh, well, NBA ratings are up so much. Yeah, because it's on network TV and it's on every night of the week on either network or some streaming service. So naturally, more people are watching this year. So here's my stupid brain in creating something that combines rewarding the teams that still just missed the playoffs, keeping the lottery, and making the NBA Cup more enticing. So 14 teams do not make the playoffs currently. That includes the people who make the play-in and then lose. Right. So there are 14 teams. We then have a single elimination tournament. The top 2 teams will get a first-round bye. And this is the adjustment of the NBA Cup. So you're not winning a trophy or anything like that. Think of this as the equivalent of an NIT in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So you would take away the NBA Cup from happening a month into the season. And you have this mini tournament happen in that week that really occurs between the end of the regular season into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Your top 2 of the non-playoff teams get that first round bye. So those first 2 rounds, home court advantage. So those teams still have 1 or 2 more home games.
Mm-hmm.
You then have a neutral site for the semifinal and finals, like the NBA Cup. The team who wins locks in the number 1 pick. And then you could either do, well, then the rest of the draft, the rest of the lottery picks would be based on where people finish. So second place got the second pick, third place got the third pick, etc. Or now first pick is locked in. Now the rest are in a lottery where the team that finished second has the best odds for the number 2 pick, and so on.
I got
Now,
you.
the other question with this is, well, Josh, the NBA Cup gives prizes to the team that wins. There's it's like $500,000 per player for the winners, like $200,000 for second place or something like that.
Yeah.
So what about those? Because players want the money. You're right, they do. So let's do a team bonus for the top teams in the conferences. Because I'll tell you, as much as guys on the Thunder are getting paid, not all of them are getting SGA money.
No, of course not.
Right. So that those prizes that you have, now you have 2 prizes. You have the top team in the East and West. We'll just use that $500,000 bonus for being the best team in their conference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you got the teams playing to try to get that top spot for that a little extra money. You have then, again, the 14 teams that don't, and I should have reiterated this at the beginning, you rank them not by conference. It's their total wins and losses. So it's not East versus West, and then they combine. You mix it up, and then, all these teams lost in the first round. How do we decide which team is where with the draft odds? You can do one of 2 things. Based on point differential, you can calculate those odds, or hey, those teams that were eliminated in the first round, they all have the same odds. Then the second round, they have the same odds. Third round, they have the same odds. So you can do it one of those 2 ways. So that is a way, the tournament is worth something, because the NBA Cup currently is not, besides the money. So the cup is worth something. It happens in that 1 week lull between regular season playoff ball. The lottery is still there. And then everyone is playing for something. I rest my case. Adam Silver, I will send you my billing address and I will invoice you because I have fixed your convoluted tanking problem. Good night. I'm putting my headphones down and I'm leaving.
Okay, bye, Josh. Okay, so here's the thing.
Tell me everything wrong with that.
No. I don't think there's two things that I think are wrong with it. I don't think it's a bad idea. First of all, I think it would be very entertaining to watch bad teams play bad teams all for something.
Which
I think
people watch the NIT for that.
100%. I 100% agree with that portion of it. One thing that I think that I don't love about it is, again, I think it goes against my original belief of, okay, like if you have a tournament where all of the teams that didn't make the playoffs, they now play in a tournament to go get the number one pick. I still think that the better teams are going to come out on top of that, right? Mm-hmm. Like I still think that whatever your 7 seed or 8 seed in the East is going to end up getting the number one pick. I think it's kind of
the 7 and 8 seeds would not be in that.
Well, no. But what I'm saying is like if you have a 7 seed in the East and they lose in the play-in, right? Then that becomes.
I get that. Well, then you could if let's say you make the play-in, if you're in the play-in, you're not in that tournament. You could always do that too.
Okay, but so here's the other thing I don't love about it is that as far as NBA players are concerned,
mm-hmm.
I think there's a really good possibility that you have players sit out for that tournament. Like, I don't think that you're going to have players on those teams that are going to be like, well, I'm not going to play in a game so that my team can draft a kid that's going to take my spot. Or like, listen, my contract is up after this year. I'm not even going to be on this team next year. Why do I care? Right? Like,
and that goes to kind of what you were saying earlier about the individuality of the NBA. So that is a true symbol of, well, if I'm a general manager, do I even want to offer you a contract if you're refusing to try to help the team?
Mm-hmm.
So that right there would then show players' loyalty.
Listen, it absolutely could.
Yeah,
it absolutely could. I am just, listen, like I said, I don't think it's a terrible idea, but I don't know. The NBA, I think, is playing with its food with.
Oh, it absolutely is. Because, and it all comes back to your point from the very beginning of this is the fact that if we do nothing, maybe next year we get a little bit of this again, and then the following year there might be none, and then a couple years goes by, and then it comes back up again.
Right.
So it just happens to be these last few years in between the combination of not just, the tanking and just the social media aspect of it, but now with all the gambling.
Right.
That's the one area in this that we have not touched on yet.
Yeah.
Is the fact that they're trying to make sure that gamblers are happy.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's just so much money in that.
Yep.
And that's coming from a degenerate gambler.
A true degen himself. Yeah, no, that's another element to it also. Okay. We've already seeped into hour number 2. We'll come back with more. We'll see you.
Cowboys Nation, what up? It's your boy EJ Savage over here at Boys in the Zone, where it's everything Cowboys related, from the latest news, off-season talk like training camp and draft analysis, and of course, during season game breakdowns and commentary. Would love to see you in the chat kicking it with myself and other members of Cowboys Nation, whether it be a guest that I myself bring in, or Cowboys fan forum videos where I bring you guys on, or even other chat members. We're always live on Twitter and YouTube, talking the boys. So really, the only thing left to say is, how about them Cowboys? See you there. Peace.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Tim Barnett, and welcome into the Boston Sports Summit. If you're a fan of any of these 4 teams right here, or you're like me and you love all 4 of them and you follow them religiously, you're a big fan, this is the show for you. The big thing with this is real commentary and authenticity. I'm going to tell you like it is. If we're great, then we're great. But if we suck, I'm going to tell you that we suck and we need to improve. I'm also not afraid to call out our ownership or front office for making bad decisions, just like I'm not afraid to call out our coaches or our players for screwing some things up or doing great. All right? Because that's what this show is all about. It's about authenticity. So listen, if you're a fan of any of these teams or you're a fan of all 4 of them, check me out, the Boston Sports Summit, every Wednesday, live at 7 p.m., and it's electric, all right? We're going to go into some great detail about the Sox, Patriots, Celtics, and even the Bruins, and hey, you might even get a guest appearance from my little puppy here. So, it's a great show. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday, 7 p.m. You can also follow me on all socials, on Instagram, X, and YouTube, Boston Sports Summit. So check us out. It's a great show. It's a great time. Hope to see you there. God bless.
What's going on, y'all? It's Arthur Hurst from the Grid Network, letting y'all know to check out the Saturday morning tailgate starting at 10 Eastern every Saturday. Check us out on YouTube, X, Instagram, wherever you get your podcasts. Tune in for some humor, some great analytics between me, my boy Bryson, and Tim. Again, Saturday morning tailgate every Saturday at 10 Eastern on the Grid Network. See y'all there.
Alrighty, welcome back. We are back here for hour number 2 of Mike and Josh exclusively here on the Grid Network. I'm Mike Guido. That's Josh Tariff. It's great to have you with us on this Thursday evening. So, Josh, we were afraid that, hey, listen, what are we going to talk about today? Because, we're almost 2 weeks out from the Super Bowl, right? NFL season's over. It's too early to talk about the draft or anything like that. So what are we really going to talk about? The NBA All-Star break was just now. So we ate up the whole first hour.
Luckily for us, we love the sound of our own voices.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just kind of breeze through it. And we hope you're enjoying the sound of our voices too, and you're hanging with us because we got a bunch more we do want to talk about today.
Yeah, we'll do a little bit of buy or sell in the NBA a little bit later. After the All-Star break, how are we feeling about some of the top teams in the NBA? Are they real contenders for a title or are they pretenders? We'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's quickly dive into the NFL a little bit here, Josh. And I don't anticipate spending a whole ton of time on this, but Tyreek Hill was waived by the Miami Dolphins. And He is now a free agent for the first time in his career. It's interesting because this obviously the Miami Dolphins are a team that is, in the midst of trying to figure out what they're doing, right? Like whether Tua is, I highly doubt that in the next 2 years, Tua is going to be their quarterback. Maybe in the next 1 year, Tua is going to be their quarterback.
It might not be in 1 month. He might not be their quarterback.
Right. There's a lot of instability there. They just hired Jeff Hafley as their new head coach after firing Mike McDaniel. Like it's a mess over there right now. And this was once a team, by the way, that had very, very high aspirations. Like it was only a couple of years ago we were talking about, listen, Miami is going to be a threat to make a deep playoff run. It just seems like they're so far separated from that now. Let's begin here with Tyreek Hill, Josh. Where could Tyreek Hill go next? What team do you think could use him the most? Where do we feel about this whole Tyreek Hill situation?
Well, the big thing with it is his recovery with this injury, because, I mean, the way that injury was, he might be available late in the season.
Yeah.
So whoever would get him would have to agree, hey, we're going to have him on our team for the hopeful playoff push and get him in our rotation, because he's such a naturally good receiver with his incredible speed that he can, help any team, even if he joins them late. So really, his only suitors to me would be teams that really think, hey, we are going to be in the playoffs. We can roll the dice because we're in win now mode. We can throw at him a 1-year deal knowing we're only going to get maybe at best 5 or 6 games out of him.
Yeah, right.
And then based on that, see, what they can give him after that. So if I'm looking at a team like Buffalo, like New England, like the Chargers.
Yeah.
Those are like 3 right off the top of my head of, hey, we know we're going to be a deep team based on what our rosters currently are. And if we roll a dice on him and he's willing to come with us for a discount, being that he's not going to play most of the year, and the gamble pays off, then we will gladly reward you with a much nicer contract following that. Like the most common thought is, oh, he'll go back to Kansas City.
Yeah.
And yeah, that home certainly makes the most sense. But is Kansas City going to be a team in that conversation like I just listed Buffalo, New England, and the Chargers with next year? Probably not. Because you still got Mahomes who's going to miss the first chunk of the year.
Right. So
That's why even give him that.
Right. That's an element to this that I think a lot of people aren't thinking about is Patrick Mahomes missing time, right? And you're right. That is the first. I think that's the first thing that jumps into people's minds is him reuniting in Kansas City, like them having that marriage again. And it certainly does make sense. If they bring him in for multiple years, it certainly makes sense. I think Tyreek Hill's going to start it's going to be his age 32 season next year.
Yep.
Not a young guy anymore. Okay. I think Tyreek Hill could be at the point in his career where he's almost on 1-year deals until he retires.
He's in Odell territory now.
Right. I think that's where you're getting at. And it's just a couple of years ago where he had his career best season, right? Caught for 1,800 yards. He caught 13 touchdowns. Like, we're only a couple of years separated from that. But last year, not this past year, but the year before that, 2024, 81 catches for 959 and 6 touchdowns. Not bad, but not what you want from a number one receiver. And then last year, the injuries where he had 265 yards total in 4 games on 21 catches and only 1 touchdown. Like, what kind of player are you going to be getting with Tyreek Hill at this point? I adore the Buffalo fit. I think that's a real thing that they should explore. Because, again, you're talking about a team that is, almost for sure going to be in the playoff picture next year. And hopefully going to be contending for a Super Bowl. Imagine late next year, Tyreek Hill comes back. He becomes another element to your offense that teams have to game plan for. That's not really the easiest task in the world.
Right.
So that could benefit them tremendously. I agree with New England. I think New England is a good spot for him as well. There's a team out there that I think that not a lot of people are talking about that to me makes a decent amount of sense here.
Can I guess?
Go ahead.
The Commanders.
No, it was not the Commanders. However, I will say,
I think that could be a fit.
Commanders are not an awful destination. That is
No.
100% true. The Denver Broncos.
Ooh.
That's a team I think that people are not talking about because you want to talk about a team that needs weapons, right?
Mhm.
This is a team that needs wide receivers. And again, it certainly isn't like a super dark horse team. It's not like I said the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
Like the Broncos were the number 1 seed in the AFC last year, but you're telling me that they can't use a speed demon on the outside? They can't use Bo Nix can't use a guy that he can just air it out and this guy's just going to find it? I think that's something that Sean Payton could use to his advantage also. That's another destination.
Absolutely. No, I definitely agree with that one.
So, but I don't know. What does this mean for Miami, though? Because, and does it mean anything? I mean, at this point, Miami is they're in such a state of limbo, right?
Yeah.
They don't really have a quarterback.
Correct.
Right? Their head coach, I don't think anybody was super excited about their head coaching hire. Like, what do they have? Like, they don't really have much going for them. I think they're going to be a team that's going to look to, like, they're going to trade a lot of pieces. Like, they're already talking about trading Bradley Chubb. It would not surprise me if they tried to offload Devon Achane at some point also, if the price is good enough. I think that they are a team that, like, within the next year or so, we're going to be talking about them as one of the worst teams in the NFL. Like, I think you could look at them even next year and being like, this is a 4-win football team.
I mean, I honestly thought that they were going to be one of, if not the worst team this past season. And they certainly started that way. And then to Mike McDaniel's credit, he got them to turn around and they became a pretty solid team. Their defense stepped up a little bit.
Sure.
And Achane had a very good second half of the season. Darren Waller came out of retirement, and then before he got hurt, he was all of a sudden being like the Darren Waller of the first couple of years.
Yeah, right.
But to your point, when I'm looking at their offensive depth chart right now, Achane, Jalen Waddle, there is no one else on that offensive side of the ball that I would consider wanted on my team. So if I were them, and we are definitely going to plan on not using Tua because we know you're not going to get much, if anything, for him based on his contract.
Right.
I think you trade Achane and Waddle, maybe Chubb, like you mentioned. Is Ramsey still there?
No, Ramsey's not there, but Minka Fitzpatrick is.
Minka, that's who I'm thinking of. You know, those guys, you just got to build picks, go with what happens this season, but know that you are building towards the future because we both brought up Buffalo and New England in a Tyreek Hill sweepstakes.
Yeah.
Whether they get him or not, Miami ain't coming close to either of them, and they're in the same division.
Yeah.
So you already know 2026, you're not going to be in the top 2 of your division.
Yeah.
So why not try to get a head start between this draft and the next one? Because there are definitely, we were talking about landing spots for teams that needed that extra wide receiver for Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
There are competitive teams that are really just missing that consistent running game of Achane.
Right.
You mentioned Denver. RJ Harvey started to come along a little bit towards the latter part of the season.
But if they're thinking to themselves that we got to kind of strike while the iron's hot,
you absolutely go for Achane.
100%.
You got got a team like that. Depending on what happens with Kenneth Walker in Seattle with Charbonnet's recovery, Seattle can go after Achane.
Interesting. Yeah.
So,
That's a good one.
because you'll have Achane for cheaper than what you would have to pay Kenneth Walker.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So Miami's got to look at this and be like, hey, can we get a second-round pick? Could we get multiple picks, for Achane, multiple picks for Waddle? So you got to be in rebuild, and you do your best. I like it. You do your best. This season, try to pull off a couple upsets here or there, play spoiler for some people, and plan on having a top 5 pick to go with whatever extra picks that you're getting over the next year or two.
Yeah.
And start up, because you and I know Buffalo is here, but they're not going to be here for much longer.
Mm-hmm.
And New England's clearly on the rise.
Yeah.
So you got to start preparing to try to be that team, because we already know the Jets aren't, because they never know what they're doing.
Yeah. Is there, I was going to say, is there a larger discrepancy between, like, in a division where the Patriots and the Bills are both really, really good?
Yep.
And the Dolphins and the Jets are both really, really bad. Like,
I mean,
I don't know that
there is when you put Niners, Rams, Seahawks, and then the Cardinals.
Right. But like a 2-2 divide. I don't know if that exists in the NFL today, right now. I mean,
that might be the only one that's like a true definitive
currently,
2-2. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But it's, I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see where they go from there. All right. Coming up next,
a Miami Dolphins segment in February. That's what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's
what not related to the Super Bowl at all.
No,
it's not like they made the Super Bowl,
and it's not, and there was no relation to the 72 Dolphins with it of their Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's true. All right, coming up next, we'll kind of break down some of the teams that we believe in the NBA and some of the teams that we're not so into. We'll play a little contender versus pretender coming up next.
What up, Cowboys Nation? We are Cowboys Can Fan.
Like Canadian fan. And we're big Dallas Cowboy fans. We live stream every Dallas Cowboys game with our unapologetic, intoxicated play-by-play and color commentary, and we guarantee you won't find anything like this anywhere else.
We do that in the ring together?
We told you not so bland was here to stay, baby.
And if you like to have a couple cold ones,
crack them if you got them, son. Crack them if you got them, son. Crack them if you got them.
And watch the Dallas Cowboys play football.
You need to join us 1 hour before the Cowboys kick off, throw your score prediction in our live chat, and if you're right, guess what? We'll send you a shirt, some Can Fan merch. Click the link, check us out, and subscribe if you like what we do.
Oh, and remember, BYOB.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Bring your own boosh.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Bryson Carver, and I'm the host of the Carving It Up podcast right here on the Grid Network, as well as my own personal YouTube channel, Carving It Up with Bryson Carver. On my show, talk about a number of the biggest topics in the world of sports, as well as culture and entertainment, and I include special segments such as Bryson's Best 10, The Bald View, and one of my favorites, Carving Up the Context. I also like to invite special guests on the show to get different insights and perspectives on topics, and most importantly, I love to hear from you, the audience, in the chat below. So check out Carving It Up 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Facebook, X, and on Instagram. Check the show out anywhere you get your podcasts as well as on the YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys.
Alex Rodriguez is coming out with a documentary, and it goes into detail. Like, he's never talked about the steroid part of it and all the pressure. You will do a lot more desperate things to try to stay relevant, and you can see that he was straining to be this person that he wasn't, instead of just being the person that he always should have been. Just, I'm Alex Rodriguez, because of imposter syndrome. He had to be somebody that he wasn't. Goes to the Yankees, gets another big fucking contract. I empathize with that, because when you're this great player and people are looking at you and they're looking through you, it makes you realize that maybe Alex doesn't matter. I have to be A-Rod.
Yo, this is Barry Grant Jr. I want to give a big shout out to Mike and Josh and be on the lookout for more clips from All Even Podcast.
This is Patrick L. Brown, lead journalist here at the Grid Network, reminding you to make sure that you check out all of the latest articles over on the Grid's webpage under the blog section. There you will find the hottest takes in sports mixed in with some mental health articles as well. Dare to be different? Enter the Grid, your new leaders in digital media, sports, and entertainment. As I always say, stay tuned.
All righty, welcome back. Mike and Josh, exclusively on the Grid. That's Josh Tariff. I'm Mike Guido. So let's do a little bit of buy or sell, Josh, with the NBA as far as title contention is concerned. Trade deadline is over. All-Star break is over. We have some new players on teams potentially shaking up or improving some of these standings. So let's take a look. And these are, okay, here's what I want to do, Josh.
Yep.
I only want teams that can win the finals, that you think can legitimately win the finals. That's it. Okay? That's all we're doing. Not can make a playoff run. Teams that can win the finals, are we buying or are we selling it?
Okay.
Okay. So let's start in the Eastern Conference. The New York Knicks.
No.
Wow. Okay, so you're selling them.
I'm completely selling the Knicks.
Wow.
And I'm selling them because, as you know, they made the move for Jose Alvarado in the trade deadline, who we talked about on the show. He's one of my maybe 3 favorite players in the NBA to watch. I absolutely love Alvarado. And it's cool to be a good backup guard. We know how good Brunson is. Karl Anthony Towns is almost turning into another James Harden. And what I mean by that is he puts up, like good numbers, but obviously very questionable defense. And that always tends to be the breaking point with them as Cat gets deeper in a playoff run. Now, we know they certainly got the players. You got your Brunson, your Bridges, your Hart, etc. You got tons of talent there. And your coach, for better or worse, certainly has playoff experience and championship level experience. I just truly feel that they are that one player away, as in that one player to switch Karl Anthony Towns with away from truly being a finals contender.
Okay. All right. So it's interesting that you say that. I buy them. I listen.
I'm not surprised. Most people will buy them.
I've said it before. I do buy the New York Knicks. I think that there's legitimate steam behind them. Jalen Brunson has turned into, I mean, not even just one of the best closers in the NBA, but one of the best players in the NBA. I mean, he's really turned into something special. He's the kind of player that you can kind of trust to play well in the big game, hit the big shot. He's been here before. I do think Cat is a really solid complementary piece. I think this is a team that's going to play really hard-nosed defense in the playoffs too. Bridges and OG Anunoby are 2 of the better perimeter defenders in the league. So, listen, I think that there's enough depth here. I think that there's enough star power here. I buy them. I think in the Eastern Conference, they could absolutely win the NBA Finals. I'm 100% a buyer. Let's go to their arch nemesis, the Boston Celtics.
Boston Celtics, not only do I think they can, I'm very confident they will. And it's
really,
and I think it's mind-boggling for me to even say that out loud due to the fact that they haven't had their best player, Jason Tatum, all season.
Yeah, right.
But Jaylen Brown, to me, not enough people are talking about him for MVP.
He's been surreal this year.
Currently, 29 points, just under 7 rebounds, just under 5 assists and a steal. And more importantly than that, helping balance this team to be, a complete team, because you got, you have now 4 players well in double figures as far as average points per game. They have Anthony Simons was there, but now Vucevic is there taking a spot. And I've been saying this since the trade deadline. The best move I felt was Vucevic to Boston. And I really think that is going to be the difference. They're lights out from 3 between Brown, Derek White, and Peyton Pritchard. And they've been there. They know what they have to do to get back there. And we've been talking about all season how the East was wide open.
Yeah.
One thing that no one talked about, us included, as the season started and early on, was that Boston would be one of those teams, because we figured they would be in tank mode for the whole season because, our best player's gone. And all of a sudden, they are number 2 in the East currently?
Yeah. Yep.
Number 2 in the East, and just continue to be gelling more and more. I think the bigger story with it would be if they do succeed, and whether they win the finals or not, but say get to the finals out of the East, do they have to figure something out between either Tatum or Brown to ship one of them?
Yeah.
But I am absolutely buying Boston.
Yeah. I think it's funny. We're off to a great start, Josh. I'm a seller.
Yeah. This is good because we normally agree on everything. So this is a good thing.
I'm a full-blown seller in the Celtics. I'm really not. For the exact reason that you just said at the beginning, where you said it was mind-boggling to think that because they're without their best player.
Yeah.
I think that that's exactly the reason why I don't buy. I don't think that this team can win a finals without Jason Tatum. I just don't. Now, again, they are more than capable of proving me wrong, right? I think that, like I just said, Jaylen Brown has been unquestionably amazing this year. I do also love the addition of Vucevic. I think that was a really solid move by them. I just don't think that when it comes down to brass tacks in the Eastern Conference, with some of the teams that have gotten better, some of the teams that have improved, I think Boston is a leg behind in that department. I just think without Tatum, there's going to be a little bit of a shift in how they do things come playoff time. I'm not a buyer. I am not a buyer in the Celtics. They're extremely well coached. I mean, listen, they have a lot of reasons to be, a team that can do it. I just don't see it without Tatum. So that's me. Okay. Let's move a little bit down the list here. Not too far down. Let's go to the Toronto Raptors. Funny, in the same division, by the way. All 3 teams so far in the same division.
That's true. And bonus points for you for acknowledging NBA divisions.
NBA divisions. Bonus points to me, by the way, knowing that the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers are also in that same division. The Toronto Raptors, Josh, buy or sell?
I'm selling the Raptors. I mean, I applaud what they've been doing up to this point because I think they have definitely exceeded expectations. Brandon Ingram has brought it, to say the least, and deservedly got added, to the All-Star game with, and Scotty Barnes healthy. RJ Barrett very quietly is at 18.5 points, 5 rebounds a game. And no one's talking about him.
Solid player. He really
very
is.
Solid player. Everyone was talking about they might ship Emmanuel quickly. So that's it. Those are those parts where that makes me kind of question why I would think they're favorites. Because why would you be trying to trade one of your starters in what was sounding like, oh, it'd be maybe for picks and things of that nature, or like found some weird way to get Giannis, which obviously didn't happen with anybody.
Right.
So because of that, again, I think they are also essentially like a player away. They definitely need to make an upgrade over Jakob Poeltl at center, who is not a bad center by any means, but
great shot blocker. He can really.
I mean, he's a shot blocker. That is for sure. But we say he's a shot blocker this season. He's only averaging half a block a game.
All right. Yeah.
So if they get a little more upgrade in that, and then start adding a little more depth to their bench, I mean, they still have Garrett Temple on their roster, for crying out loud. So once they start doing that, they're definitely moving in the right direction and are a team on the rise to start looking at, especially for potential free agents into 2026-2027 season. But right now they're a seller.
Yeah, I agree. I am I'm out on the Raptors. I think they're an interesting team. I think they could steal a playoff series, but I don't think that they are. I don't think they're a team that can legitimately contend for a finals right now. Listen, Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes is a really nice combination for them over there. And I think if you continue building around that, you could really have something. But yeah, I'm with you. I think they're a piece or two away from being legit title contenders. They're close, but they're not there yet.
Yeah.
So yes, I am selling the Toronto Raptors. Let's go right to the number 1 seed, Josh, the Detroit Pistons. You're going to shock us all, or what do we got for Detroit?
I'm going to shockingly tell you that they are 100% buyers. I mean, you want to talk about a team that is just everyone helping everyone. That is exactly what Detroit's doing. So, I mean, we just have been in the go talking about Jaylen Brown should be an MVP conversation. There is no doubt that Cade Cunningham should be one of the favorites in the MVP conversation.
Yeah. No,
even though his points per game is less than Jaylen Brown, he's also still doing 5.5 rebounds and almost 10 assists a game. Plus,
he's averaging 25 and 10.
Right. I mean, that's pretty much what he's doing. Jalen Duren became an all-star. Asor Thompson getting better and better.
Yeah.
A good veteran presence of Tobias Harris and Duncan Robinson. By the way, Duncan Robinson, a guy who was being left for dead on the Miami Heat bench, has started maybe every game for the Pistons this season.
He
and
has
12 points a game.
Yep.
And then honestly, adding, I love the addition of Kevin Huerter with the trade down, just another shooting role player that you can throw in there, because he came from Chicago, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I really think they got pieces. JB Bickerstaff should be easily coach of the year.
Yep.
And this is a team. It's so funny to me that every good Pistons team in history just feels like there's never been a top tier, top guy. Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, Hall of Famers, no doubt about that. But it's like, oh, they're not the must-see go-to guys. Ben Wallace and Chauncey Billups, Hall of Famers, not the must-see go-to guys. Cade Cunningham, Asor Thompson, Jalen Duren. Good player. Obviously, I'm not going to say Hall of Famers yet. It's a little early to decide that. But they're same trajectory. Why is it Detroit is the only team that always seems to have that?
Yeah. Well, listen, that's how they do things. It's just the way that they do it. Yeah, they're 100%. I'm 100% buying them. They are getting such good, productive minutes from so many players, right? Like guys like Ron Holland off the bench, right? Guys like Danish Jenkins off the bench, who they really, really like. Karis LeVert off their bench, right? This is a team that is deep. They can kill you in multiple ways. They have a legitimate superstar in Cade Cunningham. And again, kind of what I said before, they wouldn't be in this position today if they didn't have the opportunity to get Cade Cunningham in the draft. Again, another example why I don't love the whole lottery tanking strategy. So I 100% buy the Detroit Pistons. To me, right now, they're the favorite in the East. I don't know if there's a way that you can disagree at that point.
No, I mean, when they're also 5.5 games ahead of second place. So, I mean, yeah, on paper, they're 100% the favorite.
Okay. I have two more. One of them I think is kind of fun, and the other one is obvious. Okay.
Okay.
So let's start out with the obvious one.
Yep.
The Cleveland Cavaliers, Josh.
Yes.
Are we buying or are we selling Cleveland?
I know. I have always been told I have a lot of great attributes.
It's okay. You just do it to me. It's all right.
No. Well, no. What I'm going to say is, I know the thing as far as my biggest opportunity in my personality, and I know this because I've been told it many times, and I agree with it, is my stubbornness. And I will remain stubborn and never consider a James Harden team a buyer until he actually does something beyond the second round of the playoffs. As incredible as they are, and obviously I know, again, they're playing Brooklyn tonight, so they don't have to play hard.
91-54 right now, by the way.
Okay, well,
where I'm at in the game.
Well, they should call it a day. But I mean, when you got a guy like Harden, especially in the regular season, passing the ball to Jared Allen and now Evan Mobley being back, and then another who should be MVP consideration, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
They on paper should be absolutely crushing it. And again, their record, I think I mentioned this last week. They could I could easily see them end up being the 2 seed headed into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Once they get to that second round, James Harden's going to disappear again. And until he doesn't disappear, I cannot buy a team that has him on. I'm sorry. I know they are definitely, to many other people, absolute buyers, and rightfully so. I am just stubborn.
No, listen. First of all, I was expecting you to say that because
I know
everybody has said the same thing, right? James Harden is somebody that cannot be trusted in the playoffs.
Yep.
And I listen. I believe that. I've been a harsh critic of James Harden for a long time, and I still am. I wouldn't even say that I'm not anymore, but I do admit when I see something with my eyeballs that looks good, right? Like, I tend to think, okay, I'm going to buy it. So the way Cleveland has looked with James Harden so far in a very minimal sample size, I acknowledge that, it's looked very, very good. So I am buying the Cavaliers. And am I a little biased? Probably. Sure. But listen, it would not surprise me if between now and the beginning of the playoffs that the Cavs had the best record in the NBA. Like, I really think that this Harden thing is the way they're playing now. This is exactly what the Cavs had hoped for. They are playing, and not just with Harden. Dennis Schroeder is fitting in like a glove. Keon Ellis is fitting in like a glove. Like, these are legitimate pieces that are making a real difference. And as of right now, if you just had to ask yourself at this point in time, would you rather have DeAndre Hunter or Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis? Right now,
I would definitely go Schroeder and Ellis. Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
At this point, would you rather have Darius Garland or James Harden? I'd probably rather have James Harden. And again, like, I get the whole playoff thing, but listen, people got to remember, Darius Garland is a really poor playoff player also. Like, in his short-lived playoff career, Darius Garland has been very poor in the playoffs. And again, I love Darius Garland. I wish nothing but the best for him. This is not a shot at him, but James Harden has been the producer that Cleveland had hoped for.
Right.
So I'm buying right now.
Okay.
And here's the fun one. Okay. Just because of how well they're playing, and I expect to know what you're saying, know what you're going to say. Are the Charlotte Hornets legitimate finals contenders, Josh Tariff? Buy or sell?
So I'm going to answer this question by saying, how dare you?
How dare I? Wow.
How dare you?
Leave out the Orlando Magic?
I'm not saying Orlando Magic should be a buyer, because honestly, I'm saying they're not.
How dare I not bring them up?
But to put the Charlotte Hornets above the Orlando Magic?
Have they not, listen, Josh, have the Charlotte Hornets not been the hottest team in basketball for the last month?
Oh, they're a fantastic story, and we've talked about how much we love them. And I want them to get in the playoffs. I want them to pull off a first-round upset. To think that they can actually get to the finals is hilarious.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it was fun.
Now, I do need to say one thing, though, about the Orlando Magic, since you decided not to bring them up as one of the choices.
Okay, ready? Here we go. I'm also selling the Charlotte Hornets, by the way.
Good.
Josh, the Orlando Magic, buy or sell? What does Stuff the Magic Dragon say? By the way, Josh,
Stuff the Magic Dragon says no.
Your Orlando Magic fandom is one of the funniest elements of my life.
Good.
It really is.
But
because, you know why? Because it's almost as random as my Cleveland Cavalier fandom.
Yes.
It really is.
Now, here's the thing. They should be a buyer. They should be. They're not.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Because they're still one of the top defensive teams in the league. Their shooting has improved a little bit thanks to Desmond Bane. Anthony Black, I think, could legitimately win Most Improved Player this year.
Yeah, he's been really solid for them. Really solid.
Here's a stat for you. Orlando's quote-unquote big three. Paulo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs. Franz Wagner is going to be out who knows how much longer, but he's going to be out several more weeks. In the Orlando Magic's last 135 games, Paolo, Franz, and Suggs have all played together 19 of them.
Yeah. How crazy.
That's why we are sellers. A healthy Orlando Magic team is a top 3 team in the East right now. But they continue to get beat up. And what's going to annoy me is I fear Jamal Mosley, their coach, is going to be punished for it. And it's not his fault players are getting hurt and don't seem to be getting better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because their defense has improved drastically.
Paolo Banchero is a legitimate number one.
Paolo's a legitimate number one. Franz and Desmond Bane are both legitimate number 2s.
Yeah.
Suggs, when healthy, is a defensive player of the year consideration.
And a really good point guard. He's just a very good guard.
Anthony Black, we just said, potential for Most Improved Player this year.
Right.
Wendell Carter has actually had a very consistent year this year. Pieces are in place for them for these next few years. But if their core can't stay healthy, they will never be up there with Boston, New York, Cleveland, or Detroit. And so trust me, I do not enjoy calling them sellers, but if Franz ain't going to be back for maybe at least another month, Orlando's going to end up being in the play-in.
Right.
And then, I mean, could they pull off a first-round upset? It depends on the matchup and how healthy they are.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not going to do anything this year, and that really pisses me off.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel your frustration. I understand that. And yes, unfortunately, I think I'm selling the Orlando Magic also.
But what about the Washington Wizards? Are they buyers? No.
Are they eliminated yet? I mean, they have.
I don't think they're. I don't
close.
think. Yeah, no one's mathematically eliminated yet.
It's got to be. I mean, we're getting to the point where we're getting close now, though. Like, we got to be getting pretty close.
Well, so because it's a play,
26 games back of first place,
but all you got to do is get in the play-in. They're
and
only 12 games out of the play-in.
Yeah, right.
Only 12.
Only 12. Listen, you can make it up.
Yeah.
You have Anthony Davis now. Oh wait, he's out for the year.
But Trae Young. Oh yeah, he's also
out for the year.
Yeah.
How mean are we? So yes, listen, I stand firm on what I've said before. There are only 3 teams in the East that I buy: the Pistons, the Cavs, and the Knicks. Those are the only 3 teams that I buy in the Eastern Conference.
I also only bought 3, but mine were the Pistons. Oh no, I bought 2. The Pistons and Celtics.
The Pistons and Celtics. You think it's only them?
Out of the East this year, I again, the Knicks and Cavs both absolutely could, but because of how one key player in each of those teams performs in the playoffs, I'm feeling against them.
I totally understand. By the way, one team we didn't mention was the Philadelphia 76ers.
And we won't.
I'm assuming we're unanimous on that one too, right?
Yeah.
We're selling them.
They're sweeping every series and going to win and have the most dominant playoff run in the history. All thanks to Paul George.
Right. All right. We'll take one quick, short last break. We'll do the Western Conference next.
Cowboys Nation, what up? It's your boy EJ Savage over here at Boys in the Zone, where it's everything Cowboys related, from the latest news, off-season talk like training camp and draft analysis, and of course, during season game breakdowns and commentary. Would love to see you in the chat kicking it with myself and other members of Cowboys Nation, whether it be a guest that I myself bring in, or Cowboys fan forum videos where I bring you guys on, or even other chat members. We're always live on Twitter and YouTube talking the boys. So really, the only thing left to say is, how about them Cowboys? See you there. Peace.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Tim Barnett, and welcome into the Boston Sports Summit. If you're a fan of any of these 4 teams right here, or you're like me and you love all 4 of them and you follow them religiously, you're a big fan, this is the show for you. The big thing with this is real commentary and authenticity. I'm going to tell you like it is. If we're great, then we're great. But if we suck, I'm going to tell you that we suck and we need to improve. I'm also not afraid to call out our ownership or front office for making bad decisions, just like I'm not afraid to call out our coaches or our players for screwing some things up or doing great. All right? Because that's what this show is all about. It's about authenticity. So listen, if you're a fan of any of these teams or you're a fan of all 4 of them, check me out, the Boston Sports Summit, every Wednesday, live at 7 p.m., and it's electric, all right? We're going to go into some great detail about the Sox, Patriots, Celtics, and even the Bruins, and hey, you might even get a guest appearance from my little puppy here. So, it's a great show. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday, 7 p.m. You can also follow me on all socials, on Instagram, X, and YouTube, Boston Sports Summit. So check us out. It's a great show. It's a great time. Hope to see you there. God bless.
What's going on, y'all? It's Arthur Hurst from the Grid Network, letting y'all know to check out the Saturday morning tailgate starting at 10 Eastern every Saturday. Check us out on YouTube, X, Instagram, wherever you get your podcasts. Tune in for some humor, some great analytics between me, my boy Bryson, and Tim. Again, Saturday morning tailgate every Saturday at 10 Eastern on the Grid Network. See y'all there.
All right, welcome back. We are back here with Mike and Josh. That's Josh Tariff. I'm Mike Guido. It's great to have you here, exclusively on the Grid Network. All right, Josh, we're running low on time, but let's rattle through some of these Western Conference teams, and just like we did with the East, we'll play a little bit of buy or sell. Let's start with this one, and it's maybe the most popular of the conversation. But let's start out with the Los Angeles Lakers. Are we buying or are we selling the Lakers, Josh?
I am absolutely selling the Lakers. It's a team with an incredible player in Luka, a continuing emerging star in Austin Reeves. LeBron James is LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that all three of those players have in common is none of them play defense. And those are by far your three best players. And then there's everyone else below you. And there's no one on here. I mean, who's gonna block Jackson Hayes like dunks? Is Jackson Hayes going to block them?
That's right.
So because of their
game dunk contest dunks,
yeah, I mean because of their terrible defense, I could see them being as high as the 3 seed going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then I see them losing in the first round because all of a sudden, when one team gets to play with you up to 7 times, they're going to figure out the strategies. And I love JJ Redick as a coach, but you don't have the type of defensive players to make it be a success.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'd love to say yes because I'm such a LeBron fan. But I agree. They defensively they are inept. Luka is phenomenal, but you're right. I don't think they have the depth or the defense to get that job done. Let's go to the Denver Nuggets, Josh. We buying or selling the Denver Nuggets?
Is Jokic still there?
Jokic is still there.
Then it's a buyer. That's pretty much the only reason. Now, the additional reason is playoff Jamal Murray is somebody special.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the exact opposite of James Harden and Karl Anthony Towns.
Yep.
Look up Jamal Murray. Denver, to me, is always going to be in that conversation. And what's amazing is if I just go on ESPN.com to pull up on the stats under the Nuggets, their leader in points, rebounds, assists, and steals is Jokic. And blocks is Peyton Watson. Who also, Watson should be a most improved player candidate because he is also really come into his own this year.
Yep.
Especially with Aaron Gordon, missing a good amount of time over the course of the season. But yeah, Denver to me still definitely a buyer.
Yep, I agree. I think Denver is absolutely a contender. I listen, if Jokic is healthy, they will be a contender without a doubt. I'm 100% with you on that. The San Antonio Spurs.
Here's my controversy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say seller.
That's interesting.
And it ain't a question on talent because we know the talent's there.
Yep.
Spurs are going to be a top team for a while.
Yes, they will.
I'm only leaning towards seller because no one there, aside from Harrison Barnes, has any real playoff experience.
Right. Yep.
Including their coach.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be the year of getting the taste, feeling the pressure, understanding how playoff ball is different than regular season ball. And then next season, they could very well walk in as the favorites to win it all.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. They are so young.
Yeah.
You're right. They haven't tasted it yet. I'm going to say I buy it, but listen, I think the reality is that they're really young. They haven't really experienced anything yet. But they are so deep. They're good defensively. I think Wembanyama is going to be a legitimate finals threat, I think, every year
Yep.
to the same token that Jokic is.
Yep.
Like it's going to be that sort of deal. But yes, so I'll buy. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
I agree with you in the sense of like this is a young team that needs a little bit more, like they need to get kicked in the head a little bit.
Yes.
So that's part of it. The Houston Rockets, Josh.
These guys, honestly, I think I'm also going to surprisingly sell.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is health. Because no Fred VanVleet and no Steven Adams for the playoffs hurts them tremendously.
100%.
And I love Sengun. I love Ahmed Thompson. Reed Shepherd is coming into his own as well.
Right.
KD is certainly KD, but can KD put this team on his back against Denver and San Antonio and Oklahoma City? I don't think he can get through all of them. So I'm going to sell him.
I agree. For the exact reason that you just said, I'm selling the Rockets. Durant is obviously still capable of leading a team to a title. Let's not pretend that. But the injuries, I think, are really going to kill him. And again, this is another one of these like younger teams where like the guys that you do have right now are the inexperienced ones, right? The Jabari Smiths, the Amin Thompsons, like it's these guys
they definitely got good experience last year.
Certainly, but this
injuries.
is also still a pretty young team that, you know, I'm not sure is quite there yet.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City. 1, 2, 3.
Wait. Are they they're still in it, right?
They
haven't been eliminated yet?
Mm-hmm.
They might have a chance.
Should we do it in unison, Josh? 1, 2, 3, bye.
Bye.
For reasons that don't need much of an explanation.
No, there's just do a
Are
Google,
they still
do a Google search.
Are they still the finals favorite, you think, Josh?
Yes.
Okay. I agree.
I do.
I agree. Listen, we were once having a conversation that they were going to break the regular season record, and they didn't. But
because they ran into San Antonio.
They ran right like 4 times and lost 3 of them or whatever it was. But yes, Oklahoma City, we are absolutely buying. That is 100% not even a question.
So on the west side of things, I mean, do we bring up Minnesota too? I don't think so.
I mean, I would sell Minnesota.
Yeah, I would too.
I would sell Minnesota. Like, listen, Anthony Edwards is real.
Oh yeah,
but not in this West. It's tough to find the lane.
So I had only 2 legit buyers in the East in Detroit and Boston, and I also only have 2 legit buyers in the West in OKC and Denver.
Yeah, I think I had. Who did I have? I had Detroit,
you had OKC, Denver,
Detroit, Cleveland, the Knicks.
Yep. And
Denver,
then OKC, Denver,
Oklahoma
and San
City.
Antonio.
San Antonio, right? Yep. Because like the Warriors are too far gone. I don't believe in Phoenix. Legitimately, but I agree. I think there's 6 teams that can win the finals for me.
Right.
There's
You got 6. I have 4.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, I don't know where the math was going. It's showing that the show's coming to end. Because I was going to say, interestingly enough, there were 2 teams that you picked that I didn't. Well, yeah, that would add up to the 6 and 4 difference there. Because math.
Yes, because of math.
Yes, all because of math.
All because of meth. I mean, math. Anyway.
Wow. You know who says no to meth?
Stuff the Magic Dragon.
Stuff
Are
the
you
Magic
sure?
Dragon. To meth, he says no. To meth, he says other things. No.
Interesting. Stuff the Magic Dragon. Anyway, all right, that does it for us. That's Josh Tariff. I'm Mike Guido. This is Mike and Josh exclusively on the Grid Network, and together we sing, Josh.
You are listening to Mike Guido and Josh Tariff. Buckle up!
Don't forget, we need to know what Mike's class is going to do to cause him to get his head shaved.
There you go.
Let's get some. Maybe we can. Maybe if we get Stuff the Magic Dragon to comment on a video or something like that, then Mike would have to shave his head for his class. We go figure it out, guys. Let us know. Comment. I want to see him bald.
We'll see you next week.